Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Nvidia. Unfortunately, the stock was down nearly 6.6% today, and after hours, the stock is down over 1%. On today's episode, we're obviously going to take a closer look at some recent Nvidia news, some pretty interesting ones that are pretty bullish, and then some interesting ones that maybe investors might want to consider. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so we can see pretty interesting day, right? Nvidia is down roughly 6.6%. Just a quick lapse from the 5-day, the stock is down 11%. And from its 52-week high that it pretty much hit late last week, the stock is down over 16%. So, I mean, I've done plenty of videos in the past talking about how at these levels, I personally would not be buying heavy of Nvidia, and this is the reason, right? This stock is one that is going to be very volatile on both ends, and things right now we're seeing seemed a little bit too perfect. And even though the stock is down roughly 17% from these levels, I still believe my thoughts are still the same, where this company, obviously after a 17% decline from its 52-week high, has seen a nice correction. This correction can somewhat continue in the short term. I still believe this stock will be very volatile. In the long term of things, though, I still am very bullish in the company. And that's why I believe in the past few episodes, I think since Thursday or Friday, one thing that I've been talking about has been that, hey, look, I definitely see why many people would want to sell some other positions of Nvidia to at least lock in some gains. And I want to say I'm still probably in that same mindset right now. So let me know in the comments below, did you guys sell any in the past few days? Have you guys locked in some gains? Are you guys still holding long term and you're not planning on selling anything? Just let me know what are your thoughts and what are you doing in the comments below.
Before we go any further, we are now on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the crazy support. So if you haven't and are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, make sure to check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode.
All right, so first I want to start off with some really bullish news in my opinion for Nvidia. So reports from UDN have showcased that right now for the Blackwell architecture, which is the GB200, the B100, the B200, they have received such a large number of customers, and that right now demand really exceeds supplies, that Nvidia is even sending more orders out to their supply chain players like TSMC and some of the other players that they have, right? So right now, while we might have maybe this kind of weakness in Nvidia in forms of volatility, in the long term, it does seem like there's no real reason to worry about things like supply chain issues, as their Grace Blackwell, which I believe the Blackwell platform is one of the greatest platforms for Nvidia, is going to change the company. And here we can see that they are exceeding that demand is exceeding supply. So I wanted to bring that up first because I thought that was really bullish. And right now, while we are seeing kind of some negative days for Nvidia, I wanted to bring a little bit of balance. Normally, if we might be having a green day, I try to talk maybe a little bit of some bearish or some things to kind of maybe think about. Now I'm trying to bring the other balance by bringing some very bullish news here for Nvidia. So for me, I'm very bullish on the Grace Blackwell platforms. I think that is going to be Nvidia's greatest product so far, and the amount of revenue growth that is going to come from there is going to be insane. Make sure to clip that and tag it when this product comes out in less than a year. So now the second thing we're going to take a closer look at is there are reports that Nvidia is going to sell advanced AI processors to Middle East country amid tough U.S. export rules. So for those that are not familiar, right, U.S. has created some restrictions to send AI chips to China, but in those regulations as well, they also request license for countries in Middle East. So Nvidia, based on these reports, is gonna sell some chips to a telecommunication company that has a lot of data centers, which is Ooredoo. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, and it seems like we don't know what type of AI chips NVIDIA is going to send over there, but the countries are going to be like Qatar, Algeria, Tunisia, Oman, and Kuwait, and the Maldives, where they're going to be sending some of these AI chips. Now, what's going to be something that I guess regulators here in the United States are going to have to keep a closer eye out is how this company is going to prevent Chinese entities from accessing these GPUs via cloud. So this is definitely an interesting thing, something I'm also not too happy about here, just because if there's so much demand elsewhere, why try to worry with a customer that might get a lot of pushback or kind of put you in a bad note from US regulators? So that's something to think about. We're probably going to keep following this in the upcoming weeks as we get more information out of this. Now we're going to take a closer look at a very, very small semiconductor company, and this is called Alpha and Omega Semiconductor. Let me say, very cool name, NASDAQ, ticker AOSL. The stock was up 10%, and we can see this is a company with a market cap of $1.03 billion. And I believe the main reason the stock is up today is there are reports by an analyst, Ming-Chin Ko, that is reporting that Alpha Omega is going to join the GB200 AI server train by providing some components for the GB200 super chip. And if I believe correctly, Alpha Omega is not one I follow too much, but let's see if we can find, if we can learn a little bit more about it. I believe they provide, so this is a company that provides a broad range of power semiconductor solutions. So they probably have kind of these analog chips. I might do a kind of a, so we can see they have things like voltage gate drivers that probably go in some of the system boards, some of the GPUs. They can go in various systems of the GB200 and products there. And this is going to be another player that's going to provide more power ICs and MOSFET solutions for the GB200. So definitely an interesting one to take a closer look at, especially with a market cap of $1.03 billion. Again, this is not a long-term thesis from this that, hey, look, automatically go buy the stock. But now we know that this is a company that can benefit from NVIDIA's GP200, so want to take a closer look at. We can see year to date, the stock is up 31%. In the past year, the stock is up 15%. So it's not like this stock has seen a crazy, crazy run up. And I wasn't going to do this, but now that we're here, let's actually take a closer look at maybe things like PE ratios. So let's look at PE ratio forward for AOSL, sitting at 62 and the other one sitting at 54. So we can see this one's trading a bit of a higher valuation, but at a company that has a market cap of less than $1 billion. And if the demand for the GP200 is as high as we see and as we believe, then obviously they can make a lot of revenue, they can make a lot of money, and those kind of PE ratios can contract pretty quickly. So again, not a buy, not me saying go buy it, but definitely me saying take a closer look at and go find out more. Maybe I might do that in a later episode as well. Now, the next company we have here is Broadcom, ticker AVGO. The stock was down 3.7%. And we've talked about this, I believe, either Thursday or Friday, where we're seeing a lot of AI companies like Nvidia take quite a decline. And rightfully so, right? We've seen some of these stocks just shoot up and we're kind of getting that correction. So we can see Broadcom is down roughly 13%. Now, what I found interesting today is there were reports that Broadcom is gonna work with China's ByteDance, the creators of TikTok or the owners of TikTok, to design an AI processor to help ByteDance with their AI solutions. You might be like, Jose, what does TikTok need AI solutions? So very similar to Facebook or Meta platforms, right? They need these AI solutions to help with things like their algorithm, to be able to send the right video to the right user to make sure that they stay on their platform the longest. And these are where these AI chips are used in kind of these social media companies. So what I find pretty interesting with this is, for those that are not familiar, Broadcom helps design these AI chips, these ASIC solutions to help with certain workloads, right? They've worked with a lot of companies already. Now, what I don't like about this is they are working with a Chinese company, ByteDance, and we know that, hey, look, AI chips in China, not the greatest move right now. So obviously this is something to keep a closer eye out. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of. There are in the reports, it does seem like the chip is going to be a 5 nanometer chip being produced by TSMC, but they are sources familiar with the matter say that it's going to be it is going to pass U.S. regulations. It's going to pass those compliance. Again, I'm not a huge fan of doing maybe AI custom chips to China, because while you are designing some chips, maybe they're going to put something in the back end, something somewhere where they're going to be able to bypass maybe some of these regulations, but it might be a easy fix to make it a way faster chip. So not a huge fan of this. And if you are a Broadcom investor, let me know what are your thoughts on this. Is this something that you're bullish on or something that you are bearish on? So that's pretty much all I have for Nvidia here, right? We had some bearish news, we had some bullish news. Let me know what are your thoughts right now. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you holding? Take care. Have a good day and see you all next time.